Welcome everyone. We're now live, or we should be live in our stream, and we will see what we will do. We haven't really got a topic prepared for you, but we're going to try and make this sound good. Anyway, I'm going to welcome my friends, the random ramblings of nobody, St. Clair and Marcus, and I'm going to give the floor to the first one that wants to say something.
Modwin can't count.
I can't? Did I forget someone?
You said 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, but that's because the bloody thing didn't go on live when I said 1.
Oh, hello, placeholder. Are you okay? Are you working? Is it working now?
The placeholder is back, but his microphone is muted.
Sorry about that.
Ah, okay. Now your microphone is working. Welcome, placeholder. I'm Modwayne. Marcus is the one with the orange hair. The one with the big question mark on his face is the ramblings of nobody. Welcome to our stream.
How's it going?
Welcome.
I'm glad
Thank
you came.
you.
Placeholder. Placeholder is a friend of mine. I'm glad he came.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you for letting me in the stream. Gotta say, Modwayne, huge fan.
Thank you. I didn't know I had fans.
Yeah. St. Clair actually made a recommendation to check your stuff out in the video, and I actually quite enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliments.
Modwin does amazing stuff. Very well thought out, very well researched.
I highly agree. I very much enjoy his content.
Considering the size of your respective channels, well, I'm not the smallest one here today.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
I think placeholder is the smallest.
Yeah, I've still got less than 100 subscribers. I'm probably this.
22.
Yeah, then you're not the smallest.
I have 31 now. I broke that glass ceiling of 30.
You broke the glass ceiling of 30.
I broke the glass ceiling of 30.
Well, in all fairness, St. Clair's push of me gave me 300. And now I'm at 327.
Oh, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, well, I'll edge ever forward.
The more people you have subscribed to you, the more quickly you will gain subscribers, because the people who watch your content will share it with other people. And the more people you have sharing, obviously, the more people who are going to see it. And it is cumulative.
Yeah.
It really does scale.
I really hope I will grow, but at the same time.
Well, you really can only go up from this point.
That is true.
So, I mean, it's not like you got any of those MTV decoded motherfuckers making videos on you.
Unfortunately, I wish they did, to be honest.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be great.
They don't focus on the small fry like you and I. They focus on the people who have 400,000 and 500,000 subscribers. Carlos, hello.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
Finally!
I was waiting while you were coming.
Hello.
Thank you for coming, mate.
Finally, there's somewhat of merit in this chat. I mean,
we don't really have a topic, Carlos. Sorry, I didn't have anything prepared because I worked most of the time lately, so I haven't really gotten anything going. But it's an open floor. We haven't had those for a while. So.
Yeah.
Dude, we had an interesting conversation on one of your videos the other day. I'm still not sure if the guy was trolling or not, but...
Who?
Remind me.
I can't remember even.
about Zwarte Piet and bullying.
Oh yeah. On one of my
that was pretty.
I have a video out which is in Dutch, so I'm sorry guys, but in the Netherlands we have this problem called Zwarte Piet. Every year Saint Nicholas comes and his helper is Zwarte Piet. And some social justice warrior retards in this country decided that Zwarte Piet, Black Pete, is a sign of racism. The funny thing, however, is that Black Pete was designed or invented or thought up by a writer in the 18th century, 1850 something. And Black Pete was the character of a strong black man. And he chose to stay with Sinterklaas. He's a free black man. He's not a slave. And yet still these social justice types in the Netherlands keep bitching and moaning on how Black Pete is a slave. So it's
Well, also that
know how
Zwarte
offended
Piet
they
is being used to call out black people. You know.
I understand how offended the left gets when a black man can find successful work.
But it's even worse though, because we have an ombudsman, in this case an ombudswoman. We have a children's ombudswoman, and according to her, Black Pete is counter to the laws, the international laws of the rights of the child, which it really isn't. So yeah, we had a small. I made a movie out of it. The movie is in Dutch. I think I gave it English subtitles, but the movie is in Dutch. So a guy came responding to it
That was
about how Black Pete is racism because it's based on Krampus, and Krampus is a character from German folklore.
Wait, Black Pete's based off of the dude who comes and takes little evil children away?
No,
No, he's not. That's the thing.
That's an American. There's an
No,
American.
see-
There's an American film called Krampus. It's a horror ghost film.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but that Krampus is based on the German folklore.
What exactly is Krampus? Because I've never actually... I've heard it tossed around a lot when I was a kid, but no one actually ever told me what he was.
Krampus is like a forest demon, by lack of better word.
So,
Sort of
a
like
descendant, or I guess an ancestor of Big Red.
German folklore is terrifying.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you
Also
said.
a terrible
I said-
Christmas B horror movie.
I said German folklore is terrifying.
Well, then you haven't read Russian folklore yet.
I remember the first time I heard The Night on Bald Mountain. That was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know how either of you can claim what's terrifying if neither of you have watched American reality TV yet.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
that's not terrifying. That's just that kills brain cells.
Well, I
But
think
it's-
this election
Which is
a pretty
terrifying.
good- I think the election is a pretty good reflection on how terrifying American reality TV is if we memed a president into the White House. So
It
I
just
never-
goes to show you the internet has a bigger influence on who gets elected than you would like to think.
we can thank Poll for this.
Actually, I don't think the internet had really. Yeah, it did have some influence, but just the small amount of news coverage that the SJWs and the left got, showing them how fucking stupid they are, was enough
Well,
to really turn the tide.
Well, if a small amount was enough to really turn the tide.
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
People aren't stupid. The regressive left. I spoke about it yesterday in my chat. I should have spoken it a bit more, but I was trying to be a bit friendly. I didn't want to. I'm. You guys know me how I interact with people.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting stream as well.
Yeah, I gave an example of normal people, or what the lower people, the working class people that have to actually work for a fucking living. They don't like being called names. No one likes being called names. They are not what the regressive left want them, the little minority. The main reason that the vote went that way, Trump, for all his faults, I don't like Trump. God, I hate him. I also hate Hillary as much.
I hate
Not
Hillary
more, not less, as much, exactly. No, they are both the worst of the
I
worst
hate
candidates that
I hate
she's
Hillary more.
Guys actually finding a really document
She's
that
corrupt.
was actually being
politicians are normally mostly somewhat corrupt. She just exaggerated a lot.
Well, the thing is, though, the thing is,
You don't. I don't think that she was exaggerated. I think she was more incompetent. I think she got caught more often than most
No,
politicians.
she got caught. Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
said.
but
She got caught.
I still don't 100% agree with you that all politicians are corrupt. Well, maybe they are, but there is a big difference. I mean, in all fairness, we've been talking in Europe for weeks now how Trump said that he could grab women by the pussies. which is a terrible thing. Obviously, it is.
Yeah, but did you hear what he said before that?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's not that he said he could. He said they
No,
allowed him.
They allowed him. He's just said what every fucking movie star, rich cunt.
Yeah.
Hey,
But it's worse. I mean, he gets attacked. He's not wrong. I know.
One at a time, people. One at a time.
But he gets attacked for saying that he could grab them by the pussy. No one is attacking Hillary Clinton for the things she said about the women that had sexual intercourse with her husband and whether they wanted to or not. No one talks about that. No one talks about the fact that she actually talks about nuclear war as if it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Those things no one mentions.
Fan of Fallout. She must be a huge fan of Fallout.
Well, if you ask Thunderfoot, people blew that completely out of proportion. I disagree with him on that, but
I disagree with Thunderfoot totally on his political stances. Him, Sam Harris, which I absolutely worship Harris, but when he starts, they got their kryptonites, their breakdown, the fault. They prove that they are human. Everyone's human. I have made a lot of bullshit mistakes. They have made theirs, and it's that political thing. And some are doubling down, others are just stopped talking, and they've moved along quietly.
I can't say much about the other guy, but in regard to Thunderfoot, he's a very intelligent and smart man. But when it comes to anything in the realm of politics, he definitely tends to show his ignorance.
Yeah, I love his scientific videos. I think they're fantastic.
He is an amazingly intelligent man. He has my utmost respect when it comes to anything in the field of science. He has proven to me over and over again that he knows what he's talking about. But once he makes the leap into the field of politics and the political ongoings, he really, really starts to show the fact that he doesn't get out much. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. He just doesn't seem to understand what a lot of people want and a lot of people...
Yeah, but he looks at things from his point of view. So, for example, it is logical that he is not a great proponent of Trump because Trump is pretty much anti-science.
Yeah.
This is true. But you can't say, well, I don't want Trump because he's anti-science, therefore I will go with Hillary Clinton, because the thing that Hillary Clinton is for are worse.
Yeah, well, he is the definition of a one-issue voter, to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't necessarily think Hillary Clinton is pro-science, unless you consider being in favor of nuclear war to be pro-science, which I suppose it's pro-scientific experiment of some sort. But honestly, if that's the case, I'm not going to be in favor of science in that regard.
Anyway, what did you want to say, placeholder?
Sorry, I'm not entirely familiar with exactly what Donald Trump thinks in regards to like science. Can we be 100% certain that he's anti-science, or
no? We cannot. We can only that's a very good question, placeholder. But here's the thing: we cannot be 100% certain that he's anti-science. What we can be certain of is that his vice president is, but we don't know about Trump himself. Trump himself, I'm almost certain the man is an atheist. So I think he has, or at least a non-practicing Christian.
No,
so
I think he's an atheist.
I can't stand Mike Pence, and I think he made a terrible mistake choosing him in terms of getting anything done. Now, in terms of essentially ensuring his survival, Mike Pence was a brilliant choice.
Oh God, yes, that's the you can say
like
whatever you want about
Trump type shit.
You can say whatever you want about Trump, but he did the most brilliant move ever, choosing the insurance policy, life insurance policy. Do they really want to kill Trump and put Pence in his place?
Well,
the left are that stupid. Yes,
people are saying in the chat. People are saying in the chat that Donald Trump believes vaccination causes autism. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yes, he said that. I don't believe. I don't believe. I honestly, Donald Trump is haters for the crowd.
Yeah.
Here's.
I agree. They are complaining that he's been flip-flopping like mad now.
If I can get in here, he hasn't done anything that Hillary didn't the entire election and for her 30 years in politics, and he's just jumping into the game. Hillary Clinton spent the past 30 years flip-flopping on every goddamn issue she had ever stuck her ring in the hat in, except fighting for quote-unquote children. But even that's got a little bit of gray area to it when she was laughing about getting a child rapist off.
That's a lot of gray area, to be honest. And in all fairness,
I'm being friendly.
But I agree with Mr. Affleck though that it's. I mean, he did say he thinks that injections cause blah 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 autism, which has been debunked so many times that it's too stupid to even start. He also disbelieves in climate change, also useless, but by all means go ahead. There is one thing.
No, that's not true. That's not true. He disbelieves in man-made climate change.
That's pretty dangerous, though, if you think about it, because you can't just dump millions of tons of carbon, of methane, of CFCs and water vapor in the atmosphere and not expect it to have a change.
Yeah, where's it go? Because I guarantee all the fucking trees on the planet ain't doing shit about it.
You guys are talking about this as a bad thing. Honestly, I don't really see it as a bad thing. Climate change.
Climate change in itself is a bad thing for humans. It doesn't matter for the planet, but for us, it's a problem.
Can I mention? Can I say something? I think that both. I think that both the fact that we are in a receding ice age, that we're in the last throes of an ice age, and the fact that we are pumping CO2 and methane into the atmosphere both contribute to climate change, but I think that the human activity contributes far less.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah. I think it contributes a lot more, but certain countries have more problems with it than others. For example, a country like the Netherlands will have a big problem with climate change. We already do because of the rising sea level. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it doesn't really affect the planet as such, but it does affect individual human beings.
The planet is fine. The people are fucked.
Yeah, that's basically
I will just sort of continue what my train of thought was. Okay, I ironically like climate change. Shit, and I'll give you the reasons. They're not altruistic. I want an accelerated heat wave to melt the ice caps of Greenland in a decade. That is a lot, okay? What will happen, this is scientific facts. What will happen when all that cold fresh water dumps into the North Atlantic? Well, we have a current that starts in the Caribbean, goes along the east coast of the United States, turns left more or less at Newfoundland, and warms up Europe. Okay? When so much of that cold fresh water, which is less dense than seawater, so it'll sink, it'll interrupt the warm current coming from the Gulf, which is quite low, right, causing Europe to start to cool down. So the sea levels will rise, of course, but then they will be substituted by the beginning of a possible new glaciation, and I'm all for that shit. Yeah.
Well, as I said, living in the Netherlands as I do, I don't want to see the sea level rise.
God, no. Yes,
I'd be living on the sea then.
I am being. This is my most sarcastic, cuntish, evil Carlos you can imagine. God,
I don't see anything wrong with what you're doing, with your thought. But then again, I'm a moral subjectivist, so
exactly. But do you see how you see how policy will almost radically change because a lot of politicians like seaside houses, and if the sea level rise. God, I know what Holland, Lisbon, for example, England, Italy. There are many places, of course, but also the east coast of the United States, India, China, a lot of places that are contributing to that, where the politicians have their houses, will also be flooded. They
Well,
will say, "Oh shit! I brought land here. I'm fucked now."
Yeah, I don't.
You know what?
I don't
didn't think of
necessarily
that.
see the
Now
good
I'm
in any
totally
of
for
this.
it.
I don't
Well-
necessarily see the utility of this.
It's
I'm sorry, maybe I'm just not looking properly.
No, you are. It's a stupid idea. I am absolutely fucking sick and tired of politicians saying that climate change is not
Basically,
human
climate change
caused.
doesn't real.
Climate change is not real. It is real. I've seen it. Where I live, it used to fucking snow a hell of a lot more than it does.
Yeah, same here.
Same here.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely livid at the bullshit that they should cut emissions.
I mean, I think
They should.
Marillion had a song called Season's End 20 years ago.
I
Yeah,
think
man, yeah, I
I
know.
think you're in favor of something that will never be. God, I'm losing my train of thought.
Whoever is eating chips, please share with us all.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Mute yourself when you're not.
MYS.
You're throwing me off. I apologize, but
Sorry, man. Sorry. Continue.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Chips.
Talking about climate change.
Climate change.
No, I completely.
I will
lost
never
it.
something. I will never something.
I was going to ask about the whole
Oh
science.
yes, you're in favor. You're in favor of something when you want to cut emissions that will never happen. You're in favor of something that will never occur. We will not cut emissions until the resources are depleted. After which we will likely move to nuclear energy.
Yes. Yes.
The
I am a realist. I know that. Yeah.
it's a worthless hope to hope for a reduction in carbon emissions.
I disagree with that simply for the fact that we've seen countries, may as well be companies at this point. We've seen countries over in Europe who have actually proven that you can go even a few days is an improvement on totally renewable energy. I think Germany did that. I think Switzerland has done it, but that's a small state. A country like the United States, China, India, I doubt that there's going to be the kind of infrastructure possible for simply a country of that size. But for the smaller countries that have a high output, like in Europe, for example, or some of the smaller Asian countries, absolutely. Japan could certainly do that if they can figure out how to compensate for earthquakes, of course. It's not outside their own possibility.
It is true that it is the progressives of each individual nation who are pushing for a reduction in emissions. So nations in which the progressives are in power will inevitably produce legislation to reduce emissions, produce what do you call it? I can't think of the word, but produce legislation that will reduce emissions. It happens when progressives are in power.
So then I have an idea.
What?
And this is just an idea, but so let's let global warming play out, right? And it'll kill all the cancer on the progressive side of things, and then we can let the progressives take power.
We can only hope.
All right?
No.
Does that sound like a good idea?
No, it doesn't, because cancer will you get rid of the ozone layer, then the amount of cancer will increase. Melanoma.
Okay,
True.
well,
We've
it's a
stopped
different
that.
type of cancer, all right? I can deal with a different type of cancer.
We've cured that the ozone layer. We stopped using CFC, so that's a non-question anymore. To some extent, that's cool. Now we're just basically the greenhouse effect. And I'm not. When I said cut emissions, I'm not fucking a complete radical that says zero emissions. No, you can control them. What I would suggest. This is now. I'm just thinking about it now. Trees, forests are the natural carbon dioxide sumps. They absorb in carbon dioxide. So the problem is now that we have been cutting forests down. So we are only relying on the algae, which absorb about 65 to 70% of the carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, not enough.
Not enough. The algae are still doing that because you can't cut down algae. But we have reduced the forest areas of the world of that 45%, which are much, much lower now. That helped, right? We just need to really set off a massive spike in greenhouse in the climate change. A few volcanoes going off in the Andes, Iceland, and in Indonesia, for example. There are three. I said those places because they are strategic. If three almost simultaneous eruptions of those places, so much sulfur dioxide, which is much more gas than carbon dioxide is, or even water vapor. It'll both cause a instant cooling, but then it'll trap heat down in our atmosphere. That is a danger that we are doing. We have to replant forests. We have to stop. We have to figure out a way of not using as much wood products, or even we cut one tree down, we plant two.
But I'm
as an example.
Arguably, we're moving in a direction where that's going to be a lot more of a feasible idea with the widespread use of tablets and various other smart devices are going to make paper even more so obsolete than it was before when we just had the common computer, because now you don't even need a printer. Now you can just bring the file or whatever and use a cloud to transport it to different places. You don't necessarily need to write anything down anymore. If anything, the only paper that's going to be used in the foreseeable 50 to 100 years are going to be for legal documents and the IRS bitching at you to pay them. Because they don't email you.
Paper is just a small percentage of the wood we use. 70% is for heating.
What? Really?
Yes.
Really?
70%. Oh, yes, it is. In most
Portugal or overall? Is that in Portugal?
No, Portugal now. It's it's a minority now. I use wood heating, but I cut down my trees and I let forests grow. So
I don't know about you.
I'm sustainable.
In America, we just burn our white privilege to stay warm.
Yeah, exactly. No, 70% hyperbole. Sorry, no. A lot of the wood that's cut is for building materials. That's the fuck. Sorry, guys. I haven't drank enough. I need to drink a bit more. So that's why I'm not rash reasoning. 70% is for building materials, for housing, and that. That's what I meant to say. Then it's heating in the small poor countries.
But that's the main thing that we've done wrong in the last, let's say, 100, 150 years. We've been cutting down trees to create ground for other usage, like industry and fuel production. But we should go back to replenishing our woods, because it has always been a building material. It's not the best building material anymore, but it's always been a building material. And it was always replanted. If you took out a tree, you put a tree back. We stopped doing that. We should go back to doing that.
Yes.
And there's a good chance that will create a more balanced CO2 level in the world.
Well, there's another.
It will definitely help. There's no doubt about that. If we have more ways to deal with the CO2 that's getting dumped into the atmosphere, then it's obviously going to go down.
There's another approach we can take. This inventor in Canada came up with a way to filter out carbon dioxide from.
Are you talking about that giant fan thing that they were planning on build? That giant wall of fans that sucks it out, and we can use the carbon to build batteries and stuff? That they were planning on building
the carbon from the atmosphere into carbon pellets.
Didn't Thunderfoot sort of debunk?
Yes.
Well, no. What it does is it removes the actual particulates, the pollutant particulates from the atmosphere. So it's not just It's not separating the carbon dioxide down into its carbon and oxygen. It's
Yeah, but you need to process so incredibly huge amounts of air to get the minutest produce out of it.
Right. That's just because of where it was planted, though. Imagine we put this in China, like down in Beijing.
It doesn't matter where you put it.
You would need a lot, many plants of those, because the amount of carbon dioxide that's from fossil fuels are produced now, and mostly it's coal. Actually, gas, petroleum products from oil, the pollutants of those have actually been reducing since the 80s.
Isn't some better than none?
Well, you can use Brazil did the most stupid thing in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, when they discovered the huge oil reserves on the Amazon Delta, outside of the Amazon Delta. Up until then, their cars ran on 85% alcohol. It was a byproduct of them making sugar, and which was basically auto-sufficient. They burnt the cane after they extracted the sugar, which were then fermented to make the alcohol, which they sold the alcohol. The byproducts were used to fuel the machinery to do that shit. So they were in a win-win situation, because alcohol produces much less carbon dioxide. It's a cleaner fuel. It's a cooler fuel, but it's slightly less efficient than petrol is, obviously.
And it's great for getting you high.
Right,
Yes,
imagine huffing the exhaust of that.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. America does the same, but they use corn, corn is a food product. A food
Yeah.
No. We use spray paint. There's a
Ethanol.
difference.
They call it ethanol.
But so is the ethanol that comes out of sugarcane. It's the same alcohol. You have ethanol.
You could even make biodiesel from rapeseed.
And isn't it?
You can make biodiesel. You can make biodiesel from oil that you use to fry your chips and you throw away.
Ethanol isn't ethanol pure grain alcohol?
It's a higher octane version of it. Yeah, it's got some impurities though. It's not safe to drink.
Well, it is safe to drink. It doesn't make you blind compared to methanol, which can kill you. Methanol comes from trees and plants. So it's a process that it's more complex. It uses much more energy than to produce it than ethanol. Ethanol, you just ferment the shit out of it, and then you distill it. While methanol, it's a chemical process to produce methanol.
Well, ethanol takes the most valuable thing that no American or no person in this planet has anymore: time. Everyone wants something now.
Yeah, exactly. But ethanol, you guys produce it by the tonnage. It's called bourbon. Do the same. It's called vodka.
That's true. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, it's only
40% alcohol.
If you were to honestly tell me that I could go out and buy a bottle of bourbon, pour it into my gas tank, and make my car run, you would solve the energy crisis in America.
No,
but unfortunately, shot in the dark, it doesn't work like that, does it?
Because it's only 40%.
There you go. That's the problem.
It's 60% water. And while the ethanol that you use in fuel is 85% ethanol, and the rest is gasoline. It has no water.
So theoretically, you could run a car using moonshine.
Depending on how well you make the moonshine.
If you can get it to 90% alcohol, which you can.
180 proof.
I don't know. I don't understand the proof system.
I do. 200 proof. 200 proof is 100% alcohol. 100 proof is 50% alcohol.
Okay,
yeah,
thanks,
just by 0.5 increments or something.
Yeah, if you can get it to at least 80%, just 20% water, you can use it in your car. It won't run. You might need to tune it a little bit because the combustion is different. But yes, it will run. no shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I mean,
Make moonshine legal to produce, because it's not legal to produce in the United States.
Yeah, I know, but you can do with all in America. Like I said, in Brazil, there was a byproduct of producing sugar, which Brazil exports.
Yeah.
Huge amounts of sugar.
You know,
While
Brazil
in America, while the United States, they were doing it with grains. Grains are a food sample or staple, whatever you want to call it.
grains are an asinine amount of what's on an American's plate when they eat dinner.
Yeah,
They make up an asinine amount of what
It
we
is a staple of the American diet.
so if you want to make alcohol, you want to do it from stuff that doesn't go into someone's mouth.
Here's the problem, though.
No,
Everything goes into an American's mouth. Why do you think we're the fattest country here? Oh my God. I don't think there's anything you can make alcohol out of that Americans don't eat as a staple.
You know what?
food here.
We are 10 years away from edible packaging on food, just so you can
We
eat.
have edible
We
packaging
have
for food.
I just wanted to say that there already is editable packaging.
What do you think holds a hot dog together?
Yeah, I suppose. We're going to have
Certainly
snack
not the
foods.
skin.
Soon we're going to have snack foods where you don't even have to open it. You just pick it out of the box and just shove it in your mouth. Wrapped
We already
up.
do. They're called cookies.
Oh God, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Americans are fat.
But I mean,
No, but
that's
in all fairness, if you look at, for example, the energy crisis that we have now and the way that they go about tackling it, is that they look at basically old systems. They put a lot of money in fuel, therefore fuel is the way to do it. We need oil, we need gas. We can make oil, we can make gas, but there's not enough money to be made, so they don't do that. I mean, you have cars driving on wood. It's as simple as that. How can a car drive on wood? Well, you have gaseous installations that will heat the wood, and then the wood will release the gas they have in them, and you can use that gas to drive your car with. What's the stuff that you have in the end? Well, basically charcoal.
I imagine that wood is a lot less
efficient.
a lot less efficient than petrol.
It is, but we can make petrol, we can make diesels, we can all make this stuff, but we're not doing it because it's probably cheaper or easier to just pump it out of the ground. Well, it's not cheaper, but there's millions of dollars going into fuel production as, how do you call it? I give you money, so you do it. Oh, I forgot the word now. Fucking hell. No,
I give you money, therefore you do it. What is that? A job?
No. Yeah, no, but no. You have this job. You're a company that does this. Subsidies.
Yes.
That's the word.
Subsidies. Yeah,
Millions of dollars of subsidies go into fuel production. One of the most profitable businesses in the world, and in America, people get subsidized for it.
You know,
What's that all about? It seems utterly ridiculous, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Do you guys know Rudolf Diesel, the inventor of the diesel engine? He planned, because at that time, the United States.
Mudwing.
Sorry?
The United States. You got to share, my way, and shit. That look delicious. The United States were at that point were the producers of petrol oil. The late 1800s, early 19th century, late 19th century, early 20th century, and Rudolf Diesel said, "Shit, I don't want to buy American oil. Let's they have gasoline. Buy American gasoline. Let's do something." He found out that compressing an oil, it at a high compression, it actually combusted. So his plan was to have across Europe fields of oils. I think rapeseed in some areas which they could grow peanut, others which grow sunflower, all those oils to produce the fuel to run the diesel cars. But again, chemists figured out that they could produce the same oil from, and they fucked up his plans. So yeah, Europe would have been self-sufficient.
Carlos,
in
everybody.
Yeah, sorry. My head's full of these useless. Well, they're not useless. They're quite. Fun
That's
facts.
full of ethanol, people. Please forgive him.
It's full of ethanol.
It is. It is. No, it should be more full. I'd be more coherent. But yeah, that's the story. That's why I don't mind.
And
we
that's
have,
where we get the term from.
Yes, diesel. Yes, exactly. I'll just someone else talk now.
I've heard
His name was Rudolph Diesel, huh?
Yes, Rudolph Diesel.
Did he have a red nose?
Well, sometimes.
Probably because
I heard that.
Depends on how many ethanol he drank.
I heard
yeah,
that.
he may have enjoyed his schnapps.
I heard a little bird told me that Rudolph Hess had a red nose eventually.
No, but the thing is, if we look at our fuel production, if we look at our energy production, we are slightly moving towards more renewable sources, but that's going pretty slow because the real money is still in gasoline.
Well, I'm
if we
gonna.
were to end farming subsidies, if we were to end farming subsidies, take the extra crops that they would be growing as a result of not being paid to not farm and turn that into ethanol, we would actually have a pretty decent secondary fuel source if there was public desire to do so. But with the subsidies being as they are right now, in terms of not only food but fuel production as well, I don't see it as being any reasonable future endeavor until we get.
The main reason why they don't do that is because it will weaken the oil companies as we have them now. For example, you can make diesel out of rapeseed. Rapeseed grows just about everywhere. You want
Grapeseed or rapeseed?
Rape.
R-E.
R-E-P-E. Rape. Yes, it's spelled the same way. I'm sorry I didn't bring the name.
Look,
I love that.
I'm sorry, but you're triggering me,
Rapeseed.
okay?
Think
You are
about that.
triggering me.
Yes, that's no problem for
No,
me.
St. Clair, we've already thought about that. There was a woman who complained about rape yellow being a color a few months ago. We've already done that.
That was brilliant. Oh my god.
We've already complained. We've already complained. You're late. You've missed the train. Just go back to your home and
Okay,
forget
fine.
that you were supposed to come.
Can we complain that flesh is no longer a color? They renamed it peach. That's sad.
That is sad, actually. And peach
Wait.
is a different color than flesh.
Coming back to the whole fuel thing, I thought electric cars were pretty far developed these days.
Electric cars are a fucking joke.
No, I won't say electric cars is a joke, but the problem
you
is...
won't, I will.
No, but how will you make the electricity?
Yeah, that's
So, and a lot of electricity is still being made by burning fossil fuels.
true.
That won't be the
I think
case
that's
forever.
First,
A good.
hey Magnus.
A good
Hello.
way.
Hey, Magnus.
UI8 seems to on the right track. It has a small capacity, 3-cylinder engine, and a generator and a battery pack to store the energy, and 4 electric motors that make that car go fucking fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
Well, and they can make, or rather they can make, most electrical driven cars are 4-wheel drive automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
which is better for handling and all sorts of things. The problem with electric cars is not so much the system to make it, but the batteries are a problem to make because you need a lot of toxins to make them. And still, how do you make the electricity?
Yeah.
Rare earth metals, solar power, for example.
Solar power.
that's
We
actually
can-
what I was going to say. You could just
Nuclear,
provide every
solar power.
American.
Yeah.
You could just provide every American with a giant solar panel to plug their car into.
No. Solar power in itself is not the solution. Of course, it's not.
It depends.
It can help.
Solar power-
ultimately is the solution. Nuclear power. It's the cleanest power we have.
Thorium power, then, not nuclear.
Yeah, people are
Nuclear.
frightened.
Thorium is
People are
nuclear.
frightened of
Yeah,
thorium.
you're right.
People are frightened of nuclear power plants.
Yeah,
Because
thorium
of
is
the-
pretty
yeah.
safe, though. The plutonium and uranium plants are dreadful unsafe. Even though we've
Yes.
made them a lot safer, there's still a lot of trash with them. Thorium is a far lot cheaper and a far lot better and a far lot safer, but somehow they chose not to go for thorium.
I do.
Nuclear is only the problem with the waste. If you make it safe enough, like the Americans, the system, the British, the French, have not had even Fukushima, the Japanese, the fucking earthquake that did that damage would have torn apart countries.
Yeah, true that. But thorium would have been safer than that.
Yes,
But you can't weaponize thorium, can you?
You can weaponize everything.
No. You can, yeah, exactly. Dirty bombs and shit.
I can weaponize literally everything. You can weaponize this glass mug I'm holding. You can weaponize everything.
Yeah,
Magnus,
That's something I read about the thorium.
I was about to say, if I can weaponize a fart, I can weaponize just about anything.
Yep, there you go.
Shit, you can weaponize Lacey Green's voice, so that's
You know, you are
That's a low blow. That's a low.
Magnus, you are all American. I can tell you that, my friend.
Well,
Look,
I
you know
only
the
pretend.
military
I only
does-
pretend to be. You have to be around me enough to see that I only really act like this just to entertain the masses, really.
You know, the military actually does make use of weaponized music.
True that.
Yeah, they were using
really.
Slayer.
the march of the Valkyries during the Vietnam War was fucking.
Well, yeah,
scared the Viet Cong.
That's how you fly a helicopter. I mean,
remember there was a
you can't
conflict.
fly a helicopter
There
without.
was a conflict.
Da-da-da-da.
There was a conflict. I can't remember where it was. Afghanistan. It was someplace where the Americans began playing Slayer music, and it
wasn't. It's not just Slayer. It was Slayer. There was Metallica. There was AC/DC. I only know that
it frightened the enemy away. Which
yeah,
I think
they have no idea why our music sounds like that. It is a complete alien to them. They have entirely different musical structures over there.
I should actually bring this up since you guys brought it up. I actually went to a Slayer concert many years ago. And you guys, if you guys have ever heard the guy from Slayer sing, I wish I could remember his name right off the top of my head, but I just woke up. And we're standing there, and then finally they did about 2 or 3 songs, and listening to him singing that loud, high-pitched voice. Next thing I know, when he gets done with the 3rd song, he gets up to the mic and goes, "How's everybody doing tonight?" And that loud voice, that loud, high-pitched voice, I was like, "Holy shit, he actually sounds like that."
Yeah, Tom Araya.
Yeah.
What's up, Gunny?
Hey, Gunny.
Howdy.
Hello, Gunny, my brother.
Can you hear me, you guys?
No, we can't.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
my
okay.
nigger.
No, I had a problem with my headset the other night. It kept, I don't know, every time I plugged it in, it kept booting me out of the fucking stream.
Well, that's what you get for being a Nazi.
Hey, by the way, shouldn't you get another cap now? By the way, on your picture.
Yeah, make America great again. That would look fucking awesome.
Well, he's old now, isn't it? He's president now, so.
Change it from "Make America Great Again" to "Making America Great Again."
No, yeah, but what you do, that's what I'm saying here is like everybody's all enthused right now with the Donald Trump thing and everything like this. And I've said this from fucking day one. I support him for sure. Okay. But he does have the capacity, like, to, let's say, radicalize his fucking followers. That scares me. And we have to keep his feet to the fucking fire. His promises.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
One,
absolutely.
two,
You do that with every president, though.
Have you taken a
Nah,
look
but
at the first 100-day plan?
Yeah, I did.
I did a whole 4-hour stream on the subject last night.
I can't lie. I feel like he's got potential to do a lot of good, but you really have to. He feels like I don't. I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's like a 3-year-old. He has the potential to do it right, but you need to keep his nose pointed forward.
Why do you guys say this? Like, why do you guys say
And you
this?
need to
The
give
guy
him a
is
spanking when
70,
he screws up.
70, he's 70 years old. He's ran businesses
Well-
since he was 21 years old. Multi-billion-dollar businesses.
You know what he
He's
doesn't
not a
know how to
child.
do? He just
Fucking
No,
Obama
no,
was a
he's not a
community
child.
organizer.
He's not a child, but he has the ability to run his mouth like one. And unfortunately, he's
Well,
now
so what?
sitting
So what?
I
He's an
don't care. Let me put this head. I don't care. All right. I will run my mouth like a child no matter what age I am. I always will. I'm just a very loud-mouthed individual. I'm not condemning him for this because he does it. But he now sits at the head of our country. We don't necessarily want someone who runs their mouth off like a 3-year-old to run their mouth off like a 3-year-old to
Yeah,
other
but
countries.
in all
Trump.
fairness, look
I
at
want-
the history. Look at the history. Look at Nixon.
I'm getting some
I mean,
beer. Be right back.
He wasn't a bad president. We might look back on him
And
now
again,
in a negative way, but he wasn't a well-spoken president. Who cares?
I absolutely do not
hold up.
think that he is going to be a bad president. He has my support as long as he's doing something that I think I support. You know, he
hold
has
up,
my
guys.
support.
Exactly.
I have to bring this up before we get too in depth with this. You got all the Americans in here will probably agree with me, and the ones in the audience. But we've all been hearing about this Cal-exit thing, where they want to make California its own country.
I've been
That was-
saying
And
it
I'm-
since I fucking heard about it. Go,
Well, and-
go,
Yeah,
fucking
no.
go.
Nobody.
No.
I think you can get behind this, and I think everybody in our audience can get behind this. Is we need to now make a hat and a hashtag called "Make California Mexico Again."
No,
Can I say
you guys
something
are
that I
Yes.
wrong.
Can I say something
Wrong
that I
about
found was interesting? It's 1860 all over again. The Republicans elect a populist candidate that the Democrats don't like, and now they want to secede.
Oh God, who the fuck was it?
Hasn't Texas wanting to be seceding for a while now, though?
Yeah,
Well,
but
didn't
see,
you
that's
see
the
that?
thing. Texas wanted to secede because Obama was in power. Now California wants to secede because the Republicans are in power.
Yeah,
And
they're all a
this
bunch
is-
of fucking babies.
This is my honest stance on it. Both of you are no different from each other. You're just supporting your candidate. Big fucking whoop. But California, if you want to go and build your socialist-based government and try to survive on your own without any help from us, by all means, all of you can go. And when you come
Well, what
back to
about
us
the-
crying with your tail between your legs in 4 years, Mexico hasn't taken your ass over by that point, maybe, just maybe, will help. Maybe.
Well,
Okay,
I've read
did
somewhere
you
that
guys
they're
see
not
what-
even
No, no.
economically viable.
No fucking fuck.
Did
No,
you guys
but
see
if
this
Cali-
morning what happened at the Mexican, all the Mexican embassies around the United States and what they did to the
No,
border?
what happened?
Okay, okay. You know what? They're taking the Mexican version of the what the fuck National Guard and putting it along the border to stop illegal immigrant Mexicans that are in the United States from crossing back over the border.
Yeah, yeah, but this is something that was happening even before the people were talking about how Donald Trump wanted to build the wall. In the last,
Well-
let's say, 5 years, there have been more illegal immigrants going back to Mexico because they didn't want to stay in America than that actually came from Mexico to America.
Good. See you.
Well,
Bye.
Nobody. I should say this. I wanted to say this a second ago when you said it, but no. If they want to come back, no fucking dice. They got to stay. Exactly. They make their bed. They're gonna have to lay in it.
And about the
I'm a
Cal
little
exit
bit more
thing,
forgiving. I feel like they would learn.
the Cal exit thing. How is California going to pay for the trillions of dollars, U.S. taxpayer dollars, that it's taken to build California over the fucking years?
Oh,
Are
they're
they gonna
not.
pay that back?
Nope.
Are they going to pay that back or just walk away? Whose money are they going to use? Whose
See
military?
you later, Saint. I didn't realize you left, mate. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, did he leave? Oh shit.
Yeah.
He has to go.
Yeah, shit happens. That's okay, but I missed it. Sorry, man.
I mean, this is what they're talking about is stupid. And did you see Lady Gaga this morning got arrested? Right?
Wait,
No,
what?
I didn't.
Really?
Oh
My God, my cousin is gonna flip shit.
Oh, she put she went she was cleared, and apparently her and Melina had a face-to-face fucking meeting type thing. She called her, she started screaming at her, "You're a whore, go back to where you came from."
Wait,
Blah,
who,
blah, blah,
Melina
blah.
or Lady Gaga?
Yeah,
So
Melania Trump.
xenophobia comes from the left.
Yeah, and so the Secret Service escorted her out, and the cops were in handcuffs. Bye.
Yep, and that's left. But that's the thing, though, and this is something. I mean, I always consider myself left, but what we see with the left now is they think that the only right viewpoints is theirs. If you do not agree with them, it's not just that you're wrong. No, you're wrong, you're vile, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, and you're all sorts of bad things. And I don't need to listen to you anymore because that.
And
all leftists are communists.
I am blaming my generation squarely for that problem, so I am apologizing on behalf of all of the millennials. Please forgive us, or at least forgive me.
We'll forgive you, nobody. I mean, we'll forgive you, nobody, because you have some sense.
Guys, about the California and how it would survive if it left the United States. It is number 6, the number 6 largest economy of the world. So, yeah.
Well,
he would need to go into a fucking diet to stop the fucking mooching that it does because they are sucking in more money than they, but they are the 6th largest economy of the world.
Yes,
yeah, they're kind of
like I said, they're also the biggest drain on the federal taxes there is.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
No, there's none. It's them in New York. Other than that, there's nothing.
Say that again, Gunny.
I said between New York and California, sucking on the federal tit, those two outdo the rest of the country.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
They leapfrogged France and Brazil. Well, Brazil, I'm not surprised about Brazil. They fucking squandered billions in the Olympics, and France is it's tied to the European Union, so they are fucked. They can't grow. But yeah.
Well, did you see what everybody over in Europe seen? I don't know if you've seen this yet, Carlos, but it's been all over. Is the U.S. president is no longer the leader of the free world. Angela Merkel is.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
New York Times headline.
There is something that's happening. There is an event that's going to happen soon that no one is mentioning. The news outlets aren't really taking a lot of care about it. They're
what are you
trying
talking
to
about?
cover it up.
Following you?
No. There is a country that's going to leave the European Union, and it's not what everyone thinks it is.
It's Germany, isn't it?
No.
I think Poland wants.
Not France, not Germany, not Holland. It's Italy.
No, I thought it was
Italy.
Italy.
Yes,
Italy.
my people.
Well,
Italy's wanted out for a long time. Italy's wanted out.
This is they're having a referendum about something will basically cause them to it's like Brexit. It's Italiexit. I'm trying to. There's just so fucking little information about that.
And
I'm not surprised to be honest though, because Italy already has spoken out several times that they will not allow Islam as a religion into their country, and the European Union is like, no, you have to, and Italy is like, no, we don't.
No.
And that
well, did you see what Trump wants? He wants to remove the UN delegations from the United States and give it back to Russia because we don't want nothing to do with it anymore.
I think that would be amazing.
God, I wish
or not Russia, I mean Europe. Yeah.
Shit, that's something I love about him. He has
beautiful
ideas like that I love. And I hate him totally, but yeah.
I don't think giving the UN back to Russia would be necessarily a
I
good
didn't
idea.
Russia. I meant Europe. He
Europe, sorry.
Europe.
The European Union.
I think a better option would be to build an island in the middle of the ocean with tsunami protection, of course, and just put it there in international waters so there's no state-sanctioned sovereignty over it and everybody is more or less treated equally. Otherwise, pay us rent for having it on our property.
Well,
I like your idea. I like your idea with the island because then we can drop a nuclear bomb on it when the first
exactly. I mean, I'm not 100% against maybe hiring some piss poor contractors.
Why Why waste a perfectly good nuke when you can build an island below sea level
Why-
with walls? Right. Let me finish. Below sea level, about 200 meters below sea levels, with walls. Right. And if you get sick and tired of it, just open the floodgates.
Okay, no.
Cheaper.
I've got the best solution right now. All right, let's take all our violent criminals across the world, and we're going to put them on this island without telling the leaders, and then we're going to cut off all communication with them.
Battle Royale.
Well, this is what
The
I wanted to say
last
to that,
one to walk away gets to go to the country of his choosing with 500 grand
That's
and no criminal record.
Yeah, that's an
Well, this is what I
alter-
wanted to say
That sounds like
to Tim
the
last
gun.
night. Is
Let Gunny talk, people. Come on, go on.
this
Gunny.
is what I want. This is what I wanted to say to that Tim last night. Like he was, America's so big, and it can, the immigrants aren't all this stuff. And I says, well, let's start importing 90,000 illegal Mexicans a month into the fucking New Zealand and see how fast it takes them to go. Wait.
Gunny, I knew his point, but did you see how I cut him down? I gave my father.
Yeah.
as
Oh no, I
example.
watched the whole thing.
And I was,
Carlos, what did you think about that picture I sent you of Air Force One?
I didn't get it. Where'd you send it to me, man?
On Skype. I
Oh
sent
yeah,
you
the
a
Skype
picture.
ones. Yeah, I love them. Yes, you did. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had. Yes.
That's awesome. That's
Like I said,
That
forgive
is-
Carlos. His head's full of ethanol.
You saw my reply, but anyway, about Tim. Just this will be Gunny, and because he wanted to get on, and not just him, some other people. I wanted to talk to him because, I am a friendly person. I don't want to antagonize. I use calmly as I do now, and get my points across. I think I got all my points across.
I'm
talked
always calm.
and he agreed.
I'm always calm. I'm always nice.
No. Of course, I'm talking about Tim. He agreed
So
with me. He recognized that my father. He said, but was your father illegal when my father did actually leave Portugal illegally? He was illegal in Portugal, but not France, because de Gaulle asked immigrants from Spain. Franco let them go. Only Portugal didn't. So we had to. My father's generation had to jump the border. So he was illegal. And he asked, and of course he said, but was your father illegal? I said, of course he was. Yes, he was illegal. He then got his papers almost immediately because the country that wanted him there. But and that's the one thing which I found. I should have said that then my father applied to go to Australia legally. He didn't get on a boat. And I regret not saying that point. I thought about it later, but I was a bit too worried because I won't go into it. My problems are not your God's problems. So
I wanted to ask you last night when we were listening there. You said your dad's generation needed to get a license or something to own a Bic lighter. That
did yes.
I didn't understand that.
That sounded very, very weird.
I'll explain this. Our dictator, he oppressed people, and lighters were well, not big, but a lighter.
Yeah,
they were taxable goods, and you needed to get a license for a bicycle and a lighter because he repressed the people. He didn't mind matches because Portugal was producing matches. He wanted to ferment the production. Yeah.
So, I see. Okay.
See?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So, yeah, you could get a box of matches, and the matches were not made out of paper. Out of wood. They were made out of paper. We called them paper and wax. We even called them cerillas, which means little waxes. That's how little translation means. So to own a lighter, you needed a license. But do you guys know that rope thing, which has a small flint which you strike and it forms a sort of a that was perfectly legal though.
That's what she said.
Have a good one, placeholder.
Yes. But do you see the fucking irony, hypocrisy, sarcasm? You couldn't own a petrol-based or gas-based lighter, but you could use those striking, whatever you guys call them. In Portugal, we call them matches. It's like the word match, but it's in our language. Matches or something. You could own those, but they were cumbersome.
Hey, just stupid American question. What is the national language of Portugal?
Portuguese.
Portuguese is a language? Okay, so I was right.
Yes.
I was arguing with my sister today, and she told me Portuguese wasn't a language, and I actually second-guessed myself.
It's Portuguese is the national language of Brazil now, isn't it? Or
it's the seventh most talked language on earth.
Yeah.
All right.
Eu não falo muito bem o português, porque eu não aprendi a falar português, eu aprendi com os meus pais e assim, a minha pronúncia não é muito boa.
Only in the weekends with extra mayonnaise.
I don't speak Portuguese with a proper Portuguese accent because I didn't learn Portuguese. I learned with my parents and from reading. I have a fucking weird accent. I'm not embarrassed about it, but it's weird. It's not typical. It's not
what you be embarrassed about what you are. I never did get that.
I'm not. I even correct the southern Portuguese, which I call the olives, that come up and say, "Oh, your accent sounds Spanish." And I said, "No, don't. Was an immigrant. I speak 5 languages, and that shuts them up so fucking awesomely."
My accent isn't Spanish. I'm just a nigger in Portuguese.
Pero yo también hablo un poquito de español, de castellano, y comprendo muy bien.
What?
But he understands it.
Spanish. Mira, hombre.
English.
Oh, English. I talk Wog. I think that's a better language, the Wog way. That's a more ethnic, the way I spoke in this way.
Oh, God.
Je parle français. Eu parlo italiano un poquito. I said French, Spanish.
Look, I don't take too kindly to the language of the pussy being spoken in the stream.
Ich kann kein Deutsch sprechen. I can't speak very well French.
By the way,
Spanish, not French, German. Sorry.
Ja, ich kann kein Deutsch sprechen is I can't speak German. Je ne parle pas français is I don't speak French.
So who's this Wizard of Cause fuck that Mark wants to join?
He's pretty cool.
He's cool. Yeah, he's cool.
Oh, he wants to join? Get him on.
Man.
There you go, Mark.
Cool.
You just need to be vocal about it.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Who all here is on Minds?
Who all here is on what?
I'm leaving Minds.com. I'm leaving Twitter to go to Minds.
Yeah, I'm there too, mate. I'm there too.
Minds.com?
I'm staying on both, but I am on Minds.
Well, I got to get back into my Twitter as soon as Taz sends me the code. But after I do that, I'm just going to go in there and tell everybody I'm moving over Minds, and I'm going to.
How long until this becomes a social justice haven?
Oh, it's not. Oh, fuck! I can't see it.
Nicholas Gorov
doing that.
I'll send him an invite, Mark.
Yeah, Nicholas Gorov's pretty cool.
He is. Nicholas Gorov is superb. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say that about everything.
I like our Morgan Freeman of shitworks with the voice in there.
Cool.
When?
Yeah, I apologize for being so quiet, guys. I'm kind of getting my ass ready to roll this morning. Or this evening, or whatever you want to
come
call
give
it.
us a fart joke or something.
Yeah.
You usually do.
Well, I'm still kind of got my brain on other things, so fart jokes are about the last thing on my mind right about now.
Well, that wasn't funny.
Might be busy, guys. Nicholas Croft
there's a
might be
joke
busy.
about truckers.
Yeah.
So I
what's-
sent him
what's
a
the-
Skype. Sorry, I sent him a Skype invite.
Yeah,
So,
DM him on Twitter.
yeah.
Or message him.
I was gonna say, there's a joke about truckers, and like I've known 1,000 truckers. I've worked with them, and there's you go into a room and you say, "What's the first question you ask a person with an IQ of 40? How's the truck running?
Get her done.
What?
How's the truck running?" I worked in the oil patch for years, man. Truckers make this fucking country go around. North America go around.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize if it weren't for truck drivers, shit wouldn't get products wouldn't get anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck, man. Truckers
would-
are
I'm not
huge.
as big a truck driver fan, but I am a huge locomotive fan. So
Yeah, I still
transport.
don't
I wouldn't just say truck drivers. I would say transport.
Yeah,
Train,
I don't understand.
boats, the whole bloody thing.
roads and rails are the veins of America through which all the lifeblood is driven.
Okay, why doesn't America have a modern train system? I mean, when
Yeah.
Mongolia has the new train system, maglev
Okay.
train system.
We
United
do
States
have
doesn't.
a modern train system, all right. Amtrak is technically modern, even though hasn't.
Amtrak was pretty cool to ride on, man.
Wasn't Amtrak modern 40 or 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Australia has the road trains.
But it gets you from Portland
Yeah.
to the Grand Forks in 32 hours.
Yeah, Australia has road trains. Do you guys know what that is?
yeah,
A
yeah, yeah.
It's a rig with 1, 2, 3, up to 5 trailers behind.
Hell, I've seen them on some Australian shows where they've had 20
Exactly, yeah.
fucking
20,
things
yeah,
behind them.
exactly.
Yeah.
They can't go into any built-up area.
Yeah,
City.
they can't go in any rural area.
No,
Which makes sense, to be
they
honest.
do go to rural areas, but they can't go into
Yeah.
any big built-up areas like cities, small, medium-sized towns, and so on. Because they can just go straight on. They can't turn.
I was going to say, yeah, it's kind of hard to turn a 400-foot rig in a city.
And they hit in the corrugated highways. That's the dirt road that's corrugated. They hit 80 kilometers per hour. That's 55 miles, close to 55 miles an hour.
Well, in the
And they
United
use trucks
States,
like
you'll
Magnus.
get in the United States, the best you'll get is a truck with 2 full trailers, but that's only in in areas like New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah.
same in the Netherlands as well. You can have maximum of 2 trailers. But,
And Portugal, yeah, same as well. Yeah.
I hardly ever.
but in the
Europe,
Netherlands,
let's
you
say
also have trains and you have boats. And a lot of transport in Europe is done by water, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you got the river system, and why
Yeah.
not use it? And my point is, like, why does the United States not invest in rail? I just don't understand that.
But
I
that's
can give you a straightforward answer right now. We don't consider rail a viable option anymore.
I love it. I've traveled across Canada on our railway system, and man, it's a beautiful fucking ride.
Yeah, rail is a brilliant way of doing it. I mean, hell, we have in the Netherlands we have well, as I said, a lot of transport is being done by river, and they built a rail line from the Netherlands into German Hamburg, which is called the Iron Rhine to recognize what it's supposed to be. And the Rhine is, of course, one of the major rivers for transport.
Well, I mean, in America, we are mostly focused on our highway system and our road systems in terms of traveling and transporting goods because they're a lot more intricate. There's a lot more money put into them. Overall, it's a lot more. It developed a lot better than our rail system did. So a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of businesses don't really consider the rail system a viable to use.
Like I'm saying, it's like in North America, man. with Trump in, and like I hate to say this about Trudeau, but like Trudeau is for growing hemp, right? And I'm 1,000% behind that. Man.
Oh, I left. Why?
Because he doesn't like us.
Who left?
It seems to be a regular thing tonight that people come in and drop out immediately.
I got kicked as soon as I came in.
Maybe that's shit. If he comes on, I can
didn't
stay a
kick
little
him.
bit longer. No. It's probably some of the fucking Google shit. It's shit. It's Google.
They're putting in. They're putting in Directive
he's
44.
Hi, welcome back, Wizard.
Hello, Nick. No.
No, there he goes again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's like I said, the last couple of days when I've tried to do streams, I've had weird shit happening, man.
Okay, let's wait a second.
Oh, you hear him? How are you, Nick?
No, don't talk to him directly. You might scare him off again.
So, Nicholas,
Shit. This is fucking awesome. I ran out of the shit whiskey, so I have to continue with my Glenlivet 18-year-old.
That's also not bad.
And it's not commemorating. I just don't have any other cheaper whiskey.
I know I'm sitting here staring at a bottle of over 100-year-old Irish whiskey, and I'm thinking about having a drink, but it's only fucking. Well, I guess it's 3:45 now, but.
Well, it's always past 5 somewhere.
well, it's 1 here, so you know.
Yeah, it's midnight.
Well, and
It's past midnight.
You guys are talking about your whiskey, and here I am sitting here making coffee, and that's about the best I get out here.
Aw.
I'm out on the road where I'm always at.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, are you fucking like in Texas, or are you in Miami, or you know?
Well, I'm in Oklahoma right now.
Oh God! Couldn't you pick up a better place than Oklahoma, man? All they have is a fucking song and a movie about Oklahoma.
I go where the money is. I don't give a fuck where that is.
I know. I'm only joking. I had to include the joke of the movie Oklahoma and the musical Oklahoma.
He
Well,
goes where the money takes him.
Well, the funny thing about it is you were mentioning, you know, what do you say to somebody with a 40 IQ? How's the truck running?
Yep.
I actually took the Mensa IQ test and half-assed it and still got back at the score of 120. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I have a joke that's not related to Oklahoma, but still trucker related.
Ooh, Nick! Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Okay.
You got
got the quadruple 7 subscribers.
Oh, cool.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
It would have been a lot cooler if it was 666.
I took a screenshot of when I had 666 subscribers. So it's my pride and joy. Actually, the number is 668, so just technically. But,
Yeah, well.
No technicalities. It's not 666.
How is it?
666.
How is it not 666 though?
He said it was 668.
The real number is 668.
Then kick 2.
Yeah, but
Then kick 2.
because
Come on.
yeah, they kicked 2 and it was 668. Yeah, 666. Yeah, it was something like that. No, let's continue with the 666. It's fine.
Yeah. It sounds cooler if you say 666. So.
It sounds cooler, but it's not right.
668 was the number of Nero's name.
Yes.
He was the Antichrist. So
Yes. That's why the story
Oh,
of...
he keeps dropping.
Yeah, but this time he said...
Oh, he said be right back. Awesome.
So, yeah, but that's where the story of
Oh, here we go.
the devil, she comes from.
By the way, Friday the 13th is only unlucky to the Templars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that's when
You
they
know-
got kicked out of France.
No, that's what
they
they got rounded up and burned.
No, they ended up in Portugal, actually.
I have living proof, living, breathing proof that I am related to that is actually not true. My mom was born on a Friday the 13th, and she has had the most unlucky life that you could probably imagine, right down to breaking her neck at 18.
Oh wow.
Friday the 13th is unlucky.
Yeah, it's synonymous with that. Like, I don't believe in luck and everything else.
Yeah, I'm born on Friday the 13th, so.
I went to I'll go back to the Templars. Once they were kicked out of France, or killed actually, our king at the time sort of said, "We don't have any Templars here because the Pope and all that shit said we have to kill them, and they were heretics and all that." And he just said, "No, we don't have the Templars. We have the Hospitallers. They are different." By name. They built a town. It's called Tomar. It's in central Portugal. So I have to go and visit it. It's a fucking beautiful town. It has the most marvelous castle. Still survived, still built. It's beautiful, and that's their story. We harbored them, and some went to Switzerland. It's when Switzerland sort of exploded. Notwithstanding the conspiracy theories that are out there. Yeah. But, shit. Sorry about that.
Gunny, is your keyboard perpetually on caps lock or something?
Yes.
Because he can't. No, it's fine.
Guys, Wizard of a Course can't seem to talk.
Yeah, I mean, there we go.
Hey,
hey, there he is.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm still getting used to this task scamming.
Nick, I have to apologize. I'd messaged you way back about doing a hangout talking about beer and alcohol, and I never got around to it.
Oh, it's okay. No, I agreed to do lots and lots of things I never get around to. I'm juggling just entirely too much.
Are you a politician?
No.
Thank you for joining, mate.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for joining. We're not really talking about anything, but we've been doing that for over 1.5 hours now, I think.
Please. We've been doing that for how long have we been streaming? Like 5 months?
Well, you guys had been streaming for about an hour before I popped in, and that was right after I woke up. So
Laughing about that Lady Gaga thing, man, this morning. That's what I'm laughing about.
That's pretty brilliant.
You know, every day I wake up, it's almost like every single day I wake up, and it's almost like certain portions of like the celebrity and progressive Twitter sphere are just dedicated to outdoing the inane and retarded shit they said the day before. So like, well, yesterday I said that this election is going to lead to concentration camps. I guess, yeah, you know what? Child murders. They're going to line school children up along a wall and shoot them. That's what's going to happen now. We are afraid for our lives. It's like, for fuck's sake, if this is that scary to you, then you've got
if this is that scary
psychological problems.
No, if this is that scary to you, you clearly have no idea as to what the president can actually do.
But
yeah, I've been
sorry, go ahead,
saying this since ever since I started on YouTube is the generation that we have now coming up through the colleges is what happens when you let the weak. We have let the weak outbreed the strong. That is what the problem is.
I think the real problem really is that it's generations of either fatherless children or generations of children who grew up with thieves.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The both of you are wrong. The real, you really are though. The real issue is feminism. Our schooling system has been totally fucked up because of feminism.
So is the family unit itself, and so have
indeed.
Children's lives. They're feminized. They're not.
No.
My daughter. I teach my daughter things like I've been teaching my daughter how to deal with a bully. The prevailing wisdom is tell the teacher and so on. They haven't done shit. So I've taught her how to throw a really nice left hook, and I taught her how to punk her out. And that lesson, well, with that lesson, I was at the point of teaching her. As you grow up, you're going to need to learn that those who are in power, the authorities, will not or cannot help you in a lot of situations. You need to handle your own business. And these children have never been taught that. They've never been taught how to actually process things like they've never been taught how to process a loss because they all get
that is exactly what I was just about to say. The problem does not lay with feminism. The problem does not lay with. It doesn't lay with feminism. I'm just going to lay off that. The problem lays with this generation of children being brought up to not accept the fact that they can't always have what they want, which is why we now have riots in the streets.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull it back to feminism, though, because feminism is the one that tells them that they should do this.
No, feminism is not the one that tells them that they should do this. Feminism is piggybacking off of the fact that their parents are the ones who don't teach them that they can't always get what they want, and then you have you have these children who believe that they can't always, or that they can always get what they want, regardless if it all takes a little bit of kicking and screaming, and they can get their way. And you have these people who subscribe to the feminist ideology who see this and are now teaching these children that feminism is the way to make them have everything they want. It is not feminism inherently causing the problem. It is feminism piggybacking off of.
No, because it started with feminism. Feminism and the social Marxist movements went into the schooling system, and they started teaching the children that this is what it is.
Society was doomed the day.
All right,
society was doomed the day that they started introducing participation trophies. That was the end of society that day.
Let's take a step back here and stop arguing about which specific cause it was, because the reality is that our current state of affairs is due to a confluence of circumstances, and part of those are the rise of feminism as a mainstream political ideology. Part of it is the breakdown of the family unit, which itself was fed by feminism, but it was also changed by changing demographics and economic circumstances. But what it's all culminated in, this totality of circumstances, which is fed into this new generation, is a generation that is basically, it's on the brink of entering the real world as adults. Numbers of them already are. And they are woefully ill-prepared because rather than actually teaching practical, even on a philosophical level, or instead of teaching children how to think, which used to be a common thing in education, don't teach what to think, teach how to think. Instead of teaching people how to think, they're being taught what to think by very strict, rigid ideological frameworks which don't fit with the real world. So when everything they know about reality proves to be mostly wrong when they get to reality, they don't know how to handle it because no one has prepared them for it.
True that.
Well, now if I can sneak in for just a second, I was going to bring this up, but apparently my mic wasn't picking up and telling you guys anything. When you guys were talking about these celebrities, it's like I've been around since basically Carter was president. And in every election since then, I've not ever seen it get this bad until it started with Obama when he got elected. And now this is the worst I've seen anybody react to a presidential election.
Well, what about in the 90s, though? Because we have to remember that this whole political correctness movement and this limp-wristed reactionary progressivism that we see, it first really popped up in the 90s, and it had about a 6-year run, culminating basically in PCU making such fun of it that nobody could stand to be identified as such. So
that was the funny thing. I remember the PC culture in the 90s, and it seemed like it just fizzled out like a dud firework, like it lit up and you're waiting on something to happen, but so many people like me and my friends were making fun of it, and then PCU came along. And people got over it pretty quick, like, crap, well, yeah, they're right. What the fuck are we doing, And
I really think
then it kind of disappeared.
I think we need to see a sequel where Jeremy Piven and David Spade are both grown men, and they're both professors at the university, and they have to team up to fight the cause heads who are now militarized. It would be wonderful.
Oh, that would be great. I'd be behind that 1,000%.
I saw today someone I can't remember who. You probably guys have also seen it. The correlation between the left-leaning politics. It was
Actually, yeah, I saw. I saw.
Vero or Sargon, one of those two.
No. It was what? God damn it! What's his channel name? It's the guy that Freedom Alternative. That's who did it.
Plus, yes, that's the one. Yes, him, the Hungarian YouTuber. He sort of muddled the words, and Portugal is an example. If you have less wealth, you have left-leaning politicians and the SJWs, the left, basically. More money you have more left-leaning, and he correlated something wrong. Here, we are all poor. We're a poor fucking country, so there's no feminism taught in schools, primary, secondary, university, because they want to get their pay packet at the end of the month. That's all they care, the teachers.
Well,
they don't care about ideologies or anything.
Actually, Carlos, I think I can kind of summarize what he was trying to say is when you reach a certain level of luxury and comfort in your country, that's when it's like perfect conditions for more radically left-leaning people to sprout up because they don't really have anything to worry about in their life.
I'd go a little further with that. I'd like to add sort of, because I mean traditionally, prior to the rise of this really zany neo-progressivism, this social justice warfare mania, there was oftentimes found a correlation between like affluence and education and liberal way of thinking, and I think largely that had to do with the old idea, the old tradition almost of well-educated liberals. It was because in the old liberalism it taught a somewhat more dynamic version of thinking, and at the same time conservatism at the time was largely dominated by traditionalist, like Christian theocratic types of moral majority shit, which religion itself, you find you can draw the correlations between the advanced state of a society and the levels of religious adherency, and that's because the more advanced a society becomes, the less need there is really to cling to the notion that there's a God up there and he'll take care of everything and there's justice in the universe and so on and so forth. And I think because it stalled out in that sense, and it is that level of comfort, and it's when you take first world progressivism and compare it to like classically liberal ideas about either the developing world or places that are actually facing serious plights, what you have is feminism's a great example. There's a place for feminism. It's Saudi Arabia, it's Iran, but you don't hear that from modern feminists because they're all so bored and so just catered to and coddled, and they have their way so much that when they seek out oppression, it has to be things such as imaginary wage gaps, or the way people sit on trains and buses, or there aren't enough fat chicks, disabled lesbians in
or
my
you
video.
can't explain it that way because you're a man or white.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
they have nothing really.
Come on, Nick.
So
why are you mansplaining all this? Come on.
Because not enough people come to that.
There are articles that sort of introduce into the some magazines.
Wow, I've never actually read that magazine. I can't even pronounce it.
Sorry about that. Some magazines, some newspapers, but generally people, because they can't, they're worrying about when they how they're going to pay their rent and etc. They don't worry about that shit.
Jeez, did it go down the wrong pipe or something?
Carlos, I have to point this out. The reason those left-leaning magazines don't reach enough people is the same reason Trump got elected, because most people, and I've said this 1,000 times and I'll keep saying it, but most people don't give a fuck about stupid shit. They're too busy trying to live their damn life, because the people who aren't rich, the only things they give a shit about is kissing their kids in the morning, kissing their wife goodbye before they go to work, working their ass off a full day, coming home and watching something stupid on TV. Most people don't care.
Magnus, that was homophobic. You said kissing their wife. It could be husband and or other non-binary life partner.
Well, anybody who thinks that was homophobic, I'm sorry, and you can kiss my ass.
Exactly.
See, now that's ableist, because I don't have lips to kiss your ass with, and you can't expect all people with lips to kiss your ass.
Well, I'm gonna be even worse though. That anybody who thinks that was ableist can go fuck themselves.
I think
Steve, now you're just being ableist again. You're just being
one at a
ableist.
time,
Except
people. One at a time, please. Come on.
You're just being ableist and genderless because you expect them to have a penis to fuck you with, and you expect them to be able to fuck you. What if they're paraplegic, huh? What if they can't stand out of their fucking chair?
Well, then they'll just have to figure it out. They will just have to figure it out.
I kind of wanted to say, like, I think people kind of need a certain amount of strife in their life to actually strive for something, you know.
But I was one thing I wanted to point out. Well, I wanted to throw this out there though. I think is an interesting sort of parallel or corollary to be drawn between, you know, this concept, this notion of luxury and complacency breeding this feminist and this social justice mindset, and actually the way the election played out. Because beyond, you know, looking at the voter demographics and saying things such as, you know, people were rejecting progressivism, progressives fuck this up. At the same time, on a political campaigning level, Clinton ran a shit campaign. She was just, she didn't really work for it.
Clinton didn't run any campaign.
She relied on celebrity endorsements and surrogates. She didn't put in the legwork. She didn't spend the time. Even Obama sort of castigated her a little bit, in a little tongue-in-cheek way the other day by saying, "You don't win Iowa." Yeah, you don't win Iowa simply by, you know, hoping you win Iowa. You win Iowa by spending 80 days visiting every city and town in Iowa.
But she spent her entire campaign fundraising.
She spent her entire campaign basically doing nothing, because as soon as Donald Trump got the nomination, she went right into her fucking own little head and was like, I got this. What do I really need to do? Who's going to elect Donald Trump? She gave up. She gave up. She went straight for she gave up. She thought so much that she was going to win. She was so sure that she couldn't lose this election that she had no reason to campaign. She had no reason to give a fuck.
The supporters were the same way. I mean, I think like Joe Scarborough said it brilliantly, that everyone was so certain that it was in the bag. Nobody went and phone banked. Nobody went and knocked on doors. And I've worked plenty of election cycles, always in the PAC scene, but the get out the vote mobilization was always as intense. And I didn't see shit for Hillary. I didn't see her people anywhere.
Day of the election.
Well, and hang on, nobody. Let me throw this in.
All right.
If you saw any of the polls that were done, like I tweeted back to one that somebody quoted from Huffington Post and some Politipoll or whatever it was called. They had predicted Hillary to win at like 98 point something percent to 1 point something percent. And after the election was over, I replied to that tweet and I said, "Good call, Nostradamus."
Yeah, I actually shared that tweet. I love that. That was hilarious.
But the thing is, and I mean, I know this is stupid of me to say, but everyone seems to think that, well, he only won because of the electoral college thing, but Hillary Clinton had the most popular vote, which isn't true. Yeah, but he only won because of certain states. But in the biggest states, Clinton would still have won, which isn't true. So she lost on all possible fronts.
Actually, she did win the popular vote.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
No, she didn't.
No, yes, she did. Yes, she did. That is a false narrative that was being peddled around. She did win the pot. She did.
There's 3 million illegal Democrat votes.
I'm going to bed in a little while, so this is my last contribution.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it in a moment as well, because I do notice that I'm barely awake. But yeah, no, I read an article today.
Come on. Okay, let me just get my 1.5 minute, 2 minutes max dialogue,
Okay,
monologue, and then I'll. The campaign of both sides didn't really matter much. Yeah, that's my personal view. Oh shit. Anyway, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Sorry about that. God damn it. I made a mistake. So anyway, the campaign didn't really matter too much. What mattered were the media. It was about a 90%. The media 90% were in favor, and they were just pushing Clinton. Clinton made a lot of mistakes, calling parts of the American population deplorables, etc., etc. Trump never said that. He only attacked her, which was a great strategic move. Now, I will put my place as I am a working class. I work. I don't work in I'm an archaeologist, which everyone knows, but I don't work in archaeology. I am an attendant in a very small museum. I greet guests. I don't want to hear on the news politician calling me, but you're a fucking racist, misogynist, bigot, etc., etc. If that politician or that group said that to me, God damn, I'd vote against it, even if I had voted in the past. I work for a living. I have my kids. Well, my daughter now works, which is good. But last year, I had both my children, my son and daughter, at university. I was paying their tuition. I was paying me and my wife were paying their rent for their apartment, their gas, their food, their fuel for their cars, etc. We had to work. Me and my wife have to work for that.
Exactly.
If
And
a
Carlos-
privileged, I'll just finish quickly. If a privileged fucking someone has a fucking silver spoon stuck up their ass, says, "Oh, but you are scum," I vote against them. That's what happened in this election in the United States.
No, Carlos,
Yeah.
you're
Well-
exactly right. Because listen to this: there's the number one rule in politics is you can attack your opponent, your opponent's supporters. That's the number one rule of politics.
Who's
Because
beefing?
it'll piss 'em off.
She plummeted. Well, you're
Well,
calling
look-
people names. A great section of your country names.
I'm just gonna say this before Carlos runs. Well, you are a racist, you are a misogynist, you are sexist. Now vote for me for president.
Okay. There are no human races. We are We are the race.
Yeah,
My
you can nickel and dime and technicality your way out of it, but you're a racist.
I will just apply Great Wind's law, which I sort of made up.
No. We're
Balls.
supposed to say you're a bigot.
But I'm not a
Well,
bigot.
But you are a bigot.
Actually,
But
I have to enhance what Carlos said. To enhance what Carlos said, what they've been doing seemingly politically is trying to get a guilt trip vote by telling us we're all racist, sexist, ableist, homophobic, transphobic, blah, blah, fuckity, blah. And after Obama, I think everybody's gotten so sick of it that they're like, no, fuck you. You're sitting there talking all this shit about us, and what have we ever done to you? All we've ever done is go to work and try to live our life.
Yeah, honestly,
That's where.
I think Seth MacFarlane said it best. He said they spent all this time calling out everything that they see as racist, misogynistic, sexist, that when something came along that actually kind of resembled what they were complaining about, when it's the boy who cried wolf all over again. No one fucking believed him. I guarantee you, if fucking they
Exactly,
had
that's
spent,
my point.
I absolutely 100% guarantee if they had spent the past 5 or 6 years not calling everyone a racist, sexist, misogynist, when they started hurling those insults at Trump, people, regardless of whether it would have been true or not, people might have taken a second to be like, do I want to associate with that? But over the longest time, these have all become buzzwords with no meaning. That it's like calling them it's like calling them a butthead. What the fuck? It doesn't matter. It's just a word.
Yeah.
Calling
No,
them
you're right. You're
square.
totally right.
Yes, calling them square. Who cares about being called a square? That's
You
a
are a
60s.
square.
Of course I am, but it's meaningless. That's the good thing that the social justice warriors have made for themselves.
Yeah.
They've
With
officially
you,
made these
I'm
words
saying that
racist.
sarcastic. Yeah, I'm saying that sarcastically. They have diluted racism, calling people a bigot that englobes all of the buzzwords. Meaning, it has no meaning.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's
I'm barely staying awake, so I'm going to round it up. I'm sorry, guys. Normally we go on at least another 15 minutes, but I can barely keep my eyes open. So I'm going to all ask you to, I don't know, say one thing, chill your channel or whatever. Don't do that. That's not helping.
Let me go first because I got something in the oven here. Okay.
Okay, you go ahead, my
Don't
nigga.
don't sub to me and keep Trump alive.
Okay. Magnus, you want to be next?
Well, I think, and this is going to be a little bit of a shameless plug, but you know what? If you guys want a decent explanation of what social justice warriors are like, I think Nick, Mr. Wizard of Cause here, has actually put it fairly succinctly. So I think that's all I got to say on the subject.
Okay, fair enough. Carlos?
I concur with what Magnus said about Nick. He's awesome. Yes.
Glad I jumped in the stream all of a sudden.
Yeah, and we have to do a drunk stream, actually talking about alcohol. I had, because like I said, I ran out of the cheap stuff. I had 2 shots of Glenlivet 18-year-olds and 1 shot of Monkey Shoulders. You said they were good, and they are fucking good. Recommendations and all that.
There's a reason I get paid for it.
Exactly, and also I will. God, I'm waiting for your contributions to the night that thing you won. I can't remember it now. Sorry, I'm shit with names.
Oh, yeah. The Lytle thing. I'll be actually recording the story after we finish here.
Oh, awesome, man! Awesome. You share me the link. I'm looking absolutely forward to that. And thank you, SJWs, for absolutely fucking up the world. You are going to cause Marine Le Pen in France. You are going to cause that Dutch Wilders in Holland. Geert Wilders in Holland, in the Netherlands. Sorry, the Netherlands. You are going to cause the Italics, which will come next. Of course, Merkel will be fucking kicked out of office next year. So thank you, SJWs, for this world you have fucking created for us. Thank you in the most hateful manner I can express. Thank you.
It ain't gonna be that bad.
Mark Driscoll, go ahead, mate.
But yeah, what I just said. Yeah, it ain't gonna be all that bad, I don't think. I mean, it's not gonna affect your day to day as much as people are fear mongering about. So, anyway, check out my channel, Mark Driscoll.
I will.
I need to record some more videos. So.
Yeah, I will put the links to all of your channels tomorrow. I'm not even going to do that today. I'm sorry.
And thanks for Nick for responding to my tweet and coming on.
So do I get to send us off?
Nope, Nick gets to send us off. Well, actually, I get to send us off. But you're next.
Okay, well, if I'm next, I have to shit. Subscribe to my channel. Later, guys.
Then Wizard of the Cause.
That was underwhelming.
Yeah. Wizard.
This is something I'll be expanding on in a video probably next week. But if you're like me, left of center, and you're seeing the left succumbing to this social justice phenomenon, while at the same time watching this meteoric rise of the right, I would say trying to view it as an opportunity. So what we're faced with here is an opportunity for the sort of reclaiming of liberalism that we've needed for a while. And really, if it could reach the right level, if it could be done in the right way, we are presented with an opportunity to explore and perhaps enjoy something of a new enlightenment, because there are liberal principles which came out of the Enlightenment which have been all but abandoned and forgotten by the modern left, and a great deal of them have either been taken over and usurped by parts of the right or just written off entirely. And so this swing towards the right will inevitably lead towards a swing back to the left. And when it does, real liberals need to be ready to take the reins and put an end to this nonsense which has led us to where we are. So this is not so much an end game as it is an opportunity for an interesting next chapter.
No, I kind of agree with that, because the way I see it is that at this point in time, people who are actually liberal have more in common with the right than with the regressive left. But in due time, they will both have their own path, I assume. Anyway, before I start a whole new conversation, I am sorry, guys. I'm barely coherent because I'm too tired. I will put the links of everyone that was in this stream tomorrow, if I'm not forgetting it. I'd like to thank everyone for coming, especially Wizard, because, well, it's the first time I had you with us in this stream. And I feel, well, how do you call that? Honored. That's the right word.
My pleasure.
And everyone else, thank you for coming. For the people in the chat, thank you for commenting. And we will see you all next week. And this is when I'm going to stop broadcasting.